Oh, go! Okay, well, hello everybody. Hello. Very sorry. I've been talking alone for half an hour. Great. Great. So let's do everything again. I hope I'm really live now. Yes, yeah. Why I should always check that. It have to happen time to time to remember you to check things. Okay, so hello Elliott, Raven, Mike P, Modi, Pelori, Queenie, Raven. Thanks for mentioning Modi, Pelori. I find it the chat quite quiet. Now I understand. So yeah, let me start everything back. I already almost finished my ring. Okay, how do I do that? So I don't know where to start anymore. Okay, yeah, exactly. Oh, it was on stream 11 showing it. Yeah, if the board is not in this, there is a problem. So, let's start again. I have here, hope you're all doing good by the way. Thanks for staying up, because that means that there's at least 10 people that stay up waiting for the stream half an hour. I'm okay, really waiting for it. So yeah, here for me, I see mainly two major count locally for this move, right? With two variations. Well, me, nothing really new here, but the idea is with a complete wave one here, and we are working on a wave 2 down, or we may have finished it, in fact. It's not completely impossible, you know? Nothing is possible. We have a valid here. Kind of a valid running flat. It's not extremely nice, because you see how the wave C would be very short in terms of time compared to the rest. But it's valid nonetheless, and we did reach the 236 retracement here, so in theory we could fit a wave 2 finished here, a very shallow wave 2. If that's the case, well, that means that we are going into a strong wave 3, most likely. Then, alternatively, this wave 2 could take a lot longer, and yeah, that's how I started it. Now, with this move being a pretty clean, impulsive move down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Inside count for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That bugs me a bit yesterday. Overall, you know, when you do very low down frame, I always say it, but you got to be flexible. You know? I have a good example of a 2-day price action as well. But I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5th wave is really overextended. But inside the 3rd, that is a bit high target. I can work with that, and the fact that we reach this extension target for a third is really nice, so that works for me. So we have a complete impulse here. We have a lot of selling pressure that came yesterday, so especially into that overextension here, as you can see here. It kind of decreased a bit in terms of the highest volume over the course of the day, but kind of increase at the low still, and it remains sustained for a longer time. So we have a lot of selling. Yeah, and we reach the fifth wave, and here we have a lot less selling. Clearly, a bit of spike, but clearly the selling is exhausting. And as it is not necessarily extremely bullish to see so much selling to sell the list. At the same time, it has been absorbed, but there is some sales selling here, which make me kind of hope that we have the wave 2, but you know, I don't know. But it is producing at least a bounce here. But now this wave as a completion, yes, it can be a wave C by itself. It means, okay, we may have completed a flat here, but it could also be just wave 1 of the C, right? And we could reach still the lower target. So yeah, pretty much that. And so personally, I'm long for the one that are not in the crew. I did not necessarily trade very well 2 days here, but yeah, yesterday at least I managed to take 2 nice shorts. I burn a bit myself trying to long here, but that last shot kind of got me to refound a bit my losses. And flipping long today, as we have a complete move. The target ID for me was also 80% setup, as we close the day outside of value area and reclaim it. So initial target being POC already reached, but potential target, secondary target as well, is value high, and it is in confluence for me with just the fact that we bounce out of the value area low of the range here, right? A 30k level that I've been defended quite early several times already. So looking for a move back up toward value area makes sense. It's gonna be also more or less golden pocket, I suppose. Yeah, get a bit higher. We surely have some liquidity here that could be filled as well. Yeah, the reason why I looked for the short here, well, got one stopped here, gonna explain a bit later. Yeah, long back here with the M2 to this higher target here. Just need to claim that resistance that at some point I think it could squeeze here. And the question is, are we going to print a lower high and continue to dump or not? Or maybe we don't even reach my target and we could sweep the low here and still recover from it. In that case, we'll probably have to extend, the count a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's gonna start to get really tricky to count the third here. at least on the lower time frame. So yeah, one count being well, way better the first time you didn't have everything well in mind. Anyway, so yeah, either we are working on it too, or maybe we finished it or about to finish. In that case, we can see a lot of upside. Maybe we still have a fifth to come. I not excluding this count as of yet. Right. The idea is that we made a 1, 2, 3, and potentially this as a 4, and we could go for one last impulse here. I know this is getting very long compared to the upside, but the upside was really quick, and we're still less than twice the time of the upside. So I'm willing to consider this as still a valid wave 4, especially, you know, top information tend to get a bit tricky, so you tend to have a bit of preliminary distribution before you get your top. You know, you finish to squeeze the two early shorts, you start to distribute a bit, you squeeze a bit more early shorts, or you trap a bit more long, and because, you know, for now we slightly changed market structure but didn't really claim that level. You know that if you start to claim it, when you start to have an impulsive move like this, FOMO will surely seriously kick in, etc., and then you can have your wave 2. So I still like this idea, you know, with a little arrow here to say, yeah, the problem that I'm not a very big fan here is just that we are a bit in between two levels, two nice level retracement for 4. So, you know, maybe indeed we still have a fifth wave to come, and we're gonna get the 29,400 liquidity to the 3-2 retracement here of the proposed third wave to finish at 4. That you know, on the lower time frame, I'm not really seeing it, reading it, but if you get an SFP of that low, if you get 5 waves into it from your last significant high, I'm willing to consider it. Or even if we bounce a bit higher here, you know, because here I drawn right an ABC, but it could be a WXY. In that case, we could print an ABC here, and then here, and have a WXY. Then the idea is still a flat, because I don't really see this move that prints the highest price action, the highest priced. I'm not reading it as an impulse, right? And the fact that we reach the low, that origin, that move here, and we don't really have any impulsiveness into previous move either. Yeah, I'm not really reading this as a fifth wave. So it have to be part of a correction, in my opinion. I think it's what makes most sense here. But I'm not sure. The more I'm reading low time frame count, or even not necessarily the low time frame, even decently higher time frame, more I'm trying to consider a new kind of fifth wave. Could have show you an example on gold in a minute. But yeah, if we are in a so yeah, if we go much lower, if we print a lower low compared to what we print here overnight at the open, and it is not just an SFP here. Well, I will seriously lean towards the idea that we are into the second wave, right? Well, obviously, if we start to lose this low and not SFP it, well, we lost the range and we are going into a downtrend, and well, we can still have bounce, whatever, short squeeze, but yeah, that would make the probability very likely that we're to the second wave. For the bull case, how do you view this recent drop? Is it a wave 4 still? Yeah, okay, I think I understand this. Hello, Adrian. Thank you, appreciate that. So yeah, wave 2 or wave 4, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to say, I think, right? That's as a problem when when you bug like this at the beginning of the stream and to swim along. I don't really remember what I said during where I was not live and what I said when I was live. Well, okay, wow, I think I'm still so we still didn't take this. That's what I would like to take at least. I think we can squeeze higher here, but I would be really dumb if we cannot take that high at least and test yesterday open. Am I drunk? No, I just drank one drink. So to pocket default close here, and we have our fair value gap, our liquidity here. Yeah, there's really the room for a nice squeeze, I think, and even a higher high. I think it's the right time as there is so much selling here happening. Kind of feel like the right time for anyone that moves the market to move it over the weekend when liquidity is a bit less, to be able to move it higher. I'm drinking French, yes. There's, yeah, complexity here again on the lower time frame when you try to count this is menacing. Firstly, well, you know, wake up, I see my fifth target getting reached, nice. I see a nice leading diagonal, perfect. Looking to longer retrace. I think I still have the position. Yeah, that was the idea, right? Looking to retrace. Initially it was a golden bucket, I think. Oh, 50, yeah, I went a bit more aggressive. There you open, etc. And then we got one impulse here. And then one correction here. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me for accounts. Which makes things complicated to count, but I still have made one. Well, I can't seem to find it back here. Here, okay. Well, the other complicated part here is that you have 3 wave up. Okay, you take liquidity, so that's a nice take profit for sure, but and then you go down with an impulse move on the minute. You can count this pretty much. you bridge a low here, so you really seal the fact that you have an ABC up, you have a corrective move up. But then you still manage to get the high again. That's a kind of setup that is extraordinary. It worked like 8 times on 10, because that totally broke down the classic Elliottician, because if you read this as a correction and then it's kind of confirmed here, you should be convinced that this high gonna hold, or you need at least another wave down. But it doesn't come here. And so longing the sweep of a low of a 3 wave is generally a good trade. And so I ended up writing here an ABC flat as a wave B and looking for a C wave, but now it's just doing nothing, right? Or maybe we're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know, but what I do is, this is clean enough. A flat in the middle, this I don't know what to do with it either. But I know I have a low, I know I have a high, I know I have an antenna all fucked up here. So I can focus on this to say, okay, I take this and I'm looking for the extension of that. Or I could took the very low here, but I can't reach it either. Yeah, maybe we could be drawing a diagonal as well. Yeah, that could be the case. It would explain the 3 wave up. And the front run of the target. You know, everything's possible. It's not impossible we finished an ABC here, but I'm still more willing to look for a bit more tricky price action here. The fact that we take so much time to move is always making you wonder if it's gonna come or not, but yeah, for me, I'm still looking for a move up. Keeping an eye on here if we already reject after taking that liquidity, and maybe just stay in the range for a bit, do whatever kind of WXY count we could find. But yeah, lower time frame here, not giving much clarity. Doesn't seem extremely impulsive either, but you know, this didn't seem like anything either. Well, kind of not very similar in fact. Yeah, we really have this move, the flat in the middle. Flat in the middle, and then you. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same here. Really not. It was not the same time, but yeah, there's some similarities in this pattern. And I did not mention that, but extra confluence for me to be in a long this, looking for a long this morning. During the day, really been into negative founding here, especially on inverse, but even on aggregated here. And here locally as well. With a lot of sellings overall, still, which is building bull div spot as well. There is just BUSD and TUSD, I think I saw in TradingView that are buying up. Coinbase a bit late here and getting sold into. It could be concerning if BUSD and TUSD start to sell more heavily. But you know, overall, I've been building bull div. There's a bit of a, you know, bull div on spot. You can be leading, so bearish. Or at the same time, I would tend to want to see a bit more squeeze, you know. even if it's not a higher high, which I consider still possible, that we're going into a fifth, and we'll come back on what is the count here locally, but please for a corrective up. That's what I'm betting on, at least. When you consider this move up as a wave 2 of the C, a move that we made already, I mean, yeah, everything's possible. Yeah, now I can see how this could be completed in theory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably gonna close some more my long if things don't move quicker here. It's gonna be the end of the day for me anyway, so I'm not gonna manage this too long. Straight to retrace, it's enough, so I can see this as a 1, 2. Yes, I can. Or even a bit higher here. Expect that liquidity retest yesterday open. How do you count it then? I don't know, but that doesn't really matter at that point. You can see that you have from your pivot the 1-1 extension as well, so that's more important. As I'm reading in flat, I'm rising this higher, and with my bias, I'm looking rather for the 160-180, but yeah, I'll go in pocket. And yeah, that's enough. And that's why if we take the low, yeah, I know it's... I know there's still potentially an opportunity if we take 29,400. Okay, I can maybe consider this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe that would be a good buy. But as I'm reading it right now, that would be more of a good buy. Like a good buy. No, that's not me drunk, that's just me doing bad jokes. So yeah. Okay, 25 minutes now. I think I covered what I wanted for this. Let me maybe check a bit here. Long taking profit and doesn't really look much bearish here. There is after there is negative founding, so usually it's rather a bullish thing, especially after such selling. It's worth noting there is not a lot of liquidity to squeeze here. It's not like there is a lot of short trap, There is mostly long getting wrecked here. You can see there's not a lot of new open interest built. There was short here to squeeze today, and they got squeezed mostly. Funding is already kind of shifting here a bit. On the bigger picture, there's were big shorts here that managed to buck price down. And in fact, it's probably take profit from long these shorts, Big liquidity will do such a thing. Just short you on your profit target. There is slightly increase on the Yeah, in there. So yeah, there is an increase in edging, I suppose. Especially. No, it happened. Yeah, it happened all day here. Big position bolts here and inverse. I tend to think this is a big short position starting to build, but that can take time and can still jump 6 or 10% higher before finish. Yeah, selling everywhere. Yet price is still holding. So makes sense to have a move up here. What else? Yeah, the example I wanted to talk about is, for example, this fifth wave here on gold. So it's not on, I mean, I saw that on Bitcoin, but you don't really have a nice finish here. You have 3 wave up, however you count it. And that's still very high here. So unless you have a very big flat like this, you have this funky fifth wave here. And initially I was looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a lot cleaner. I was looking at this as a very good high with an ending diagram. Oh no, yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this kind of finish is not proper, and we see that often and often. We saw that as well on Bitcoin. When was that? Especially when you zoom in, but I think it was at a very high here. And I think at our very, very high as well, at our 69k. I'm not sure I'm not gonna be able to zoom in enough, but all I wanted to mention is sometime your low time frame work great, you can count it 5, good, but sometime you're not gonna have your proper finish, and you will have a fifth wave that look like just 3 and a big wave C, or just a third wave and you don't get the fifth wave. And that happened, I found, very often, more and more often. And that might be just because, you know, Elliott Wave is just a theory that construct of time, and that can change because people change, and if there's too much people looking for a proper finish, well, there is gonna be people front running it or breaking these rules intentionally. How's that to say? That could be a very good high indeed. Also because the finish is not proper. Yeah, could this funky fifth wave still constitute an expanded force similar to the BTC on between 64, 69 ending up in a deep correction? Yes. Expanded 4, I don't know expanded 4, but I'm looking rather for 2 here on gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there is a lot of potential upside for gold. I think we just started a whole new trend, in fact. Now the question is, this is very much impulsive, so yeah, is it an ABC down and we have a low and we're gonna go into a squeeze? into a new trend, or is it a wave A or a wave 1 if I'm wrong, and we're just going to get a bounce and another move down, and then we can go for a bigger run? I would send us a bit late. I don't know. There's good upside potential. There is rumors. Well, there's rumors. There is a lot of footprint of the central banks buying a lot of golds recently, like never they have been. Like they've never been. There's rumors about, or more than rumors about, the BRICS building some kind of currency based on gold, or at least partially on gold. All of that can give a pretty good outlook fundamentally for gold. Well, now I'm just throwing things with this bias in mind, but there was also the idea that we were printing a very nice flat here, so was already looking for a bullish reversal at that point. Now the question is how is this going to behave? I think it's a decently nice buy here. We're starting to see a bit of attempt here of bulls that are pressuring a lot more. And I can find also as well 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, some kind of flat or whatever. Even here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looked very completed in pulse down. So the question is either it is an A, B, C, either it is an A. And I'm not sure, but I'm kind of willing to be bullish on gold here, and with a decently tightened validation, at least with an initial target of liquidity here, take profit to see if it reverse, or the golden pockets might be in confluence, in fact, a bit higher. Golden pocket would be more the previous kind of support here. BTC moving down, okay. It's moving down because people are selling. It's kind of dead here. It's not a lot of movement. There was a bit of aggression on the morning here from the short side. And I don't know what they did here, but at some point they decided to just close out and then trap long. I don't know if this is the funny Korean YouTuber, if he's real, and there's a ton of people like him that just keep selling a bottom and buying a tops. But yeah, here we got a squeeze and it's really slow. Short closing, so it rise, long closing, so taking profit, so it stabilize. Now there's a bit of short aggression, but it's rather getting absorbed. We took a bit of liquidity, took some long off because people are bored, so they're just jumping into position, or they're getting emotional because whatever kind of candle pattern look bullish, or they want to get into a short. So With the toilet, yes, getting flushed. I find this short quite hard to take since we didn't take out that high and CVD was foolish. Yeah, I took one or two nice shorts today. Based on minute Elliott Wave. You know, this morning I say, okay, I want to go into a long. I was barely awake here, so didn't. Anyway, I don't think I will have cartridges. I will have one to see a bit lower. Then starting to see this move. So it kind of broke my idea of an AR1 here and looking for bigger retracement. And I say, okay, so maybe we already have our wave 2 or B, and this is a sub wave 1. So I'm going to look for buying the retrace, but at the same time, this looked extremely tricky. And it looked like a nice 5 up, right on the minute. You can count 1, 2, a nice wave, a nice third wave with the volume, a 4 correction, and a 5 that takes the high of the third. You even have divergence, you have less volume. I mean, it's a very, very clean impulse here you got on the 1 minute. So I got my short here with give it a go through. It was mainly in the idea to edge myself because I knew I wanted to get into a long, but it was a bit tricky here. Then I get into a long here just because, well, I had also a decently nice count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's yeah, kind of funny. You even have nice extension, I think. Yeah, 1 extension, which nicely. But mainly, apart from that, because I would not have taken a trade just based on a minute count like this, but there was so much short spilling in, and was a good liquidity taken. There was golden 61.8 touch to the tick. I wanted to see the daily level, but yeah, and there was, you know, so much short here peeling in, and here you got your long flush, and you short it just getting crazy. So at some point you got to revest. But the other short I took, yeah, I took one here. Just because I hold on the long. Well, I took to the profit, but I jumped back in here. It's okay. I'm gonna edge here because we already have 1 move, 2 move, and we took a bit of liquidity. So if this want to continue down, I continue. That got stopped. I think that's the only one I took. Long from BWAP and POC. No, I don't know what to. Know what to say here. Because the order flow is so slow broken here. The count is starting to get really broken as well, whatever it is. And right now it's rather a matter of who is and what it is gonna do. The big guy that's gonna do something here, because here's the door open for one big guy or a few big guys to move the market in the direction they want. Not like not necessarily the the biggest guy, because there's always a guy moving the market more or less. But I mean, here some well might move the market in a direction or another. Here the liquidity is low enough, or it's gonna drop even more in a few hours. I'm tempted to say more upsides now. VWAP, why not? But yeah, after this, it's gonna be more of scalp trades, I think. But just trying to count this here, and that is my bias to take position is wide count, with the idea that I wanted to see value high. Not so sure again. And I would say as long as we hold these higher lows here, it's kind of fine. Now if it flush here, might still get a long, but maybe just less. I don't know. It might still be a long because there's liquidity here as well below. Not so much, but that's where it is. Potentially. Not sure I want to see it come back down here. Come back here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's this trend line. Kind of a trend line. Depending which load we take. I would not say it's bad, but yeah. I wanted to see a stronger squeeze here. Okay, rises is holding. No, locally. I was supposed to talk about high time frame count as well today. I don't know if it you want to. I was here talking about scalp trade on a potential little trade in such a broken area. I'm not sure. It's not even long to flush, because that at least what you did here, you have a bit of FOMO here. Then you have your aggressive shorts until they find liquidity of the long and need flush. But here you already have flushed everything, so I don't know. What do you think midterm for BTC? Oh. Sorry, firstly, yes, that's right. Wait, I lost the. Would you have shorted the current high based on Elliott Wave and order flow? No, probably not. I would have wanted to see at least a 1-1 here, but based on Elliott Wave, there is a valid option here. We took the high, so there is a valid ABC, but AB here, ABC for 1, ABC for 3, ABC for 5, and ending diagonal here for the C. You could, but I would probably not have favor that count. Not enough balance for me. At the 1-1 extension, maybe after liquidity. Or from boldness. Then short from 30,480. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's for sure. Or if it that to be really weaker here, maybe a short a lower high into, I don't know, we'll see, either ABC or low. Out of interest, did you view the drop to 15k as a wave 4? Are we en route to an 88 wave 5? Yes. Okay, let's discuss higher time frame. And what do you think midterm BTC? I think I covered it already. Final note on midterm BTC. I think we're gonna still like to see a move above here, but I think we have some consolidation ahead. Or expansion. So up, down, or sideways? But I'm favoring I think we'll okay. I think we'll come down at some point. I'm just not sure if we have another move or not. But I think we'll come back down 28 something, or even lower. Let's see when we have more confirmation. Higher time frame. That is my account, pretty much. It is my count. So yes, I think the drop to 15k was a wave 4. A wave 4 of the macro fifth wave. Of the old move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think we have, for the first time, some kind of slowdown, which is obviously a slowdown because we don't have a blow off top here. We have acceleration classic of Bitcoin after the halving during the third wave here, but we didn't have a blow off top like we had on the previous ones. So we clearly have a change of behavior. We know it's getting more professional, etc. So that's why I'm allowing also a difference with the last few cycles, because last few cycles, well, we have an impulse during the first halving as a 1, wave 2, and the second impulse, third wave after the other halving, and then another impulse during the third halving, but I think this impulse is not finished. And our potential target pretty high with my favorite, where I'm favoring 242,420. Rotely. Oh, it's still based on the previous fifth target. That's the same extension I used for that particular case. But yeah, that's my main account. Sure, thank you. We can still have a very less bullish count. I think I prefer the mid bear here. That was an idea that I had a few months back. Still on the chart. Okay, so for this I took the idea that the first run was a wave 1, and all of this have been the third wave. The third wave in Elliott Wave being the one where the crowd, most participants are entering the game, the market, with the third wave of the third wave being that one. That's when Bitcoin became really worldwide known, right? During the 15, 17. So And this could allow a bit more consolidation, in fact. That's a bit tricky because we have the halving next year, and I still think it should produce quite a nice move. And that was in fact the idea for... Yeah, okay, that was the idea if we had a corrective move, but locally we don't have correction. I mean, we don't have correction. I'm not treating this as a corrective move for sure. Definitely not. But we might... We might be going into a low high. It's not impossible that we build a bigger corrective move here. You know, maybe we print a wave A, or we are printing a wave A, B, C, and we come back here. And we sell the halving. Because, yeah, why not? The halving and the BlackRock ETF and whatever. That would be a first, but you know, everything is possible with big liquidity during the game. As long as we don't breach a high, there's still a path to the downside. But yeah, to be clear, if I were to project a bearish count that breaches 50k, well, I'm not reading it yet, and I still think we'll have clearly the door open to 50k or something. In fact, I would have considered this more if this run was happening more around the halving, because the halving is up. Well, yeah, let's see. We can start here. And there's a bear case for sure. A very bear case is just because, well, this can be finished here. I'm not favoring this bear case for the simple reason that, well, I'm a bull. It's in my name. And for me, that means probably just a failure of Bitcoin, right? Which doesn't seem to be happening. Because if the guy is like BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, and everybody is getting on board, that means they're not gonna ban it, right? Maybe they're training us, but whatever. And yeah, I mean, it could be a case for this to be a 1 and a 2. I know people that are drawing count like this, but minimal target for a 2 here would be below 3k, and at that point the market cap of Bitcoin is so low that it doesn't make sense, you know. You can be very conspirationist, etc., and say, yeah, they're gonna dump Bitcoin down to buy them all, and then it's gonna go. But if there's big guys that want to buy Bitcoin, it cannot go that low, because there's way too much money to let Bitcoin go that low. At that point you go, I mean, I think it's at 1,000 that Bitcoin market cap should be like 100 billions, so that's like one guy fortune. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I still have this on my chart, but it's not something I'm really considering. So yeah, bullish case, mostly bullish case. Now on the more mid time frame, there is a few counts, with the main count being that one, and that's the one I'm working on. And you know, I explained here, there's just, of course, still 2 counts. Is the one finished or yet to finish? I'm looking for a 2, but that's clearly the one that I'm favoring for many reasons that I'm not gonna explain too much here, because I've been live for quite a bit already. That's also the count of Elliott Wave International. So I mean, yeah. They will kill BTC when they are finished with it, but that won't be for a few years. I mean, maybe, but I don't think they want to kill it. Yeah, in fact, I think the opposite. It's the good thing for the rich guys. Allow them to keep control of the money a bit more, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, there is a flash on Bitcoin. We come back quickly on the... Yeah, that's not great now. Flush of long again, and short still peeling in with open interest a bit. So it seems that people are a bit too eager to long each low here. That's what happened here, because the short are aggressive, but you see open interest. That means if open interest go up, that means there is also new longs. And the low get taken and it gets flushed. So they still... Yeah. And I would want this to hold, right? Here you go. One, two, three, four, five, because if it's... Otherwise start to print an impulse. Now you have a 3 up, you could build a... Yeah, it's still good. It's still good. Still good. Yeah. Yeah, we would want to see this start housing, change market structure a bit more. Micro count on Bitcoin, I already share. I don't have much micro here. It seems to be a diagonal. Now the question is, was that a wave C or was that one of something else? But this seems to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 4, 5. But if that's the case, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and pulls down. Well, I'm kind of tired of counting very low time frame here. It's a bit broken. It's not the best momentum to focus on lower time frame counts. I mean, on low time frame counts. So yeah, that's the main count here. The idea is that we have a 1, 2, sub 1, 2, and working again on the 1, 2 of the third. Now, what's gonna be the strength of that third remain to be seen. And see when it comes, maybe. But yeah, if we have a very strong move up, well, that's gonna make things clearer. If things continue to stay and consolidate and stay, it's gonna be more complex, you know. Yeah, we can have many extensions. And here I'm a bit split because this count say, okay, we can go directly from here to our 5th wave and launch. You know, we have enough leg here on the 1, 2 to have big wave third target and go for new all-time highs. But at the same time, in the 4 previous cycles, we did have a bit of a run or a significant run 1 year prior to the halving, but we didn't start the very big part of the bull run we did the big part of the bull run during or after the halving. You know, and the halving is happening only next year in April. So one possibility as well here is that we have very lower targets, even with this count. You know, maybe we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got a bit of a dump and we built a bigger 1, 2, and then we can go around the halving. But we don't necessarily need to do exactly the same thing that we did each cycle, you know, it's just that it is likely based on what happened the past few times that things can change. We also have alternative counts. Just that instead of having a 1, 2, 1, 2, while I count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think this is also very valid. That Q 3, 4, 5. I would really like to take at least at 48 liquidity on the run we are getting this year. We'll see depending how it happens, and then maybe the expanding an alternative here, not necessarily the cleanest, but it's very valid as well. There is overlap between the 1 and the 4 here. Now we need to finish 5 waves here and go beyond 36. That's interesting because it's kind of tricky. It allows us to get a bit more upside here. Well, we have to get more upside. We need to go above 36,000, but it allows us as well to get not so much upside, not necessarily reaching what target I'm favoring and probably a lot of people are looking for. Staying in between, you know, you claim your support resistance, but then you come back down, and that can be a very nice bull trap at that point. And take the low here, maybe even this one. 15k to hold, but we could take the 25 or 19k low. And I think I had another one while contracting, basically. It's way too early to read the contracting here, but we can read an ABC here, so we could be reading an ABC for a third. And if things get more overlapping, that's something I might consider, and if it's that too low contracting, obviously. But the idea is the same, is to finish the 1, a 2 maybe, and a 3. See if we take some liquidity here. We already came down. We are supposed to go up now. By 2025, BTC would go to 140,000 Bitcoin each. $140,000 each. In 2023, BTC will be at 60,000. We are making history. It's the year after the financial reset for technology. Karaoke Asia. First time I see you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's... Yeah. I'm bleeding for such a thing. Clearly. I'm not so sure about this year how high it will go, but 60k doesn't seem stupid at all to me. It's very reachable with that count here. And a financial meltdown, well, I mean... Well, here is a chart here. I mean, that's SPX in orange, and that's M2 money supply in blue. Right now it's going down. And right now S&P is going up, but I have a pretty bearish count on it. In fact, I posted the short on Twitter. But yeah, that's my count for SPX. So if that's right, that means potentially a strong move down here. That can last very long, especially. I'm not necessarily saying completely down. I think the 2018 consolidation could hold a bit. Or let's already see if we do breach the current low we have. So for now it's pushing into the 1-1 extension, so I'm reading potential correction. As long as we don't take the high, I'm staying on the idea that this is a very good candidate as a fifth wave indeed. Then what's gonna be the target question? 618 conservative third wave, but potentially yeah, it could even be more bearish. Anyway, I think that's a pretty complete stream, right? Quick look, magic spread. I mean, Bitfinex remain as green. Tether as red, gray. Binance. It's weird that Binance seems to be selling, but T8, 57. I think it's also Gemini. I don't have some. Maybe I should take out Gemini because Gemini price is always fucked up. It seems that Gemini are buying, making Binance looking big trade, but it's not much trade, you know. Maybe a bit more locally. Capitulation of Coinbase on Coinbase. And BUSD as well, but yeah, in profits. I would like this to hold, to be honest. For my upside target. Short term. Golden pockets. Front run VWAP, but maybe we didn't front run on those action. There we go. On TUSD we barely front ran it. And micro count, I have not a lot of confidence. The thing is, with what we did here, if we manage to get the high again, that makes this most likely a 1, right? So I think we will reach higher target, maybe even go for new highs. At least reach value are high if we manage to go above here. We'll still be watching and maybe take a short for the mean. If we do SFP, the 30,480 to 550 here. We'll still be aware of this based just on the level here, and it is our kind of a range here. But yeah, bias is that it could squeeze up high. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining in, staying in with me, taking some time. Really much appreciate discussion. Sorry it took so much time to start, but it ended up not so bad after all. So yeah, great. Don't forget to chill a bit during the weekend as well. Take a bit of time off the chat. Spend time with friends, families, touch grass, drink some cocktails, do whatever you like. And on these good words, well, I wish you a good weekend. Take care, see you soon, and bye for now. Thank you, everybody. Reading your comment, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.